Sky Jumpers, The Forbidden Flats by Peggy Edelman. This is book 2 in the Sky Jumpers series, 258 pages and 34 chapters. A young adult fantasy adventure. This is the sequel and best described as really a Lord of the Rings type adventure. A small group of friends goes off to save their hometown, but also it's a little bit more accessible because it's not that giant epic tale, right? This is condensed probably into, this was 250, so total you're looking at like 500 pages, which for a young adult, a teenager, that's a lot easier than an enormous, Lord of the Rings tale. Granted, it's not quite as, deep, and the world isn't quite as, widespread, but it's very, I'd say condensed, compact. It's concentrated. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. All the good stuff is in there, and it's a great story, great adventure. So, post-apocalyptic, World War III happened, and instead of nuclear weapons, they created green bombs, which are supposed to wipe out the people but leave the environment intact. So, we're taking this to the next level in that it warped the environment. It didn't quite leave it alone, but magnets are no longer a thing. Magnetic metals don't hold a permanent charge anymore. They do temporarily. So that's the foundation of all, or the majority of modern technology. And so instead of cars and cell phones and stuff, you have horses and, carts. People do farming and mining and lumber and that kind of thing. But also the town they live in, inventions is a big thing. They're trying to maybe not get back to where they were, but maybe improve what they have. So it's a small town. Everybody in the town has a split job. So if, for example, the main character's father is the mayor, he also works in the lumber mill, that kind of thing. But yeah, so the claim to fame that this town has is the town doctor came up with a new form of antibiotics, which helps with one of the sicknesses that is the after effects of the green bombs. So another one of the after effects is called the bomb's breath. It is a section of compressed air that sits above it's above sea level. We don't know exactly how high up it is, but it's above the town. The town's in a valley, and we discover early on in this one that it's descending, at least in this town. So, the premise of the first one was that this core group of friends went off to the next town over to help save their current town. Similar structure here. Only mineral that's available is found somewhere not in the town, in the Rocky Mountains. So they go off to adventure, trade for that material with the antibiotics that the town specializes in. So no currency, lots of trade, good stuff. They hire a guide. And so that is part of the plot, right? You have Hope, who is the main character. She's, not a great inventor, which the town emphasizes, but she's really good at exploring, and in this book it's called discovering. And so I really liked that about the first one, that was really her strength, was exploring, and it focuses on it here. So that was really cool to see. And the guide is possibly related to her, so that drives the story a little bit. So we've got 3 different plot conflict areas. There's the internal struggle, right? She's young. She's only left the town once or twice, so this is a giant adventure. She has to manage her, internal fears and how she can approach the world. There's the external, right? There's the earthquake at the opening of the book, and traveling that long distance, there's going to be weather and all kinds of obstacles along the way that's external to her. And then there's the relationships, the group that she's with, but also the guide. Is she related? Is she not? What does that uncover about her past? Because she doesn't know much about her parents. So she learns a little bit about her past. I really enjoyed this book. For a sequel, it blew away my expectations. I think it was on par with the first book, if not even a little bit better. I really liked the plot. The towns fit in nicely, each one along the way. There was more than I thought there would be, but that's okay. It was a great story. Just really strong, concentrated novel. Great sequel. Things I liked the adventuring and exploring. I mentioned that already. At the very beginning, and this was in the first book too, the group of friends, they like listening to the town hall meetings and judging the crowd's reactions, right? So not only are they listening to the speakers, but they're also watching the crowd to see how everybody reacts. I think that's really important to know as an adult, even as a kid, right? Raising kids, they focus on the message behind being what's said, the emotion attached to it. So that's a very important, something that I have to learn more about and improve on it myself. So they are going to the only town that's located above Bomb's Breath. And so that's where one of the strengths, and that's how she's able to convince her parents and the town that she needs to go, because they sky jump. So they jump through the Bomb's Breath, and the compressed air, it kind of lets them float down, so they're just not like falling and go splat. It almost catches them, and they're able to do tricks and flips and all kinds of fun stuff. So that plays into her strengths, and she learns about the quest for the lost metal, right? So the bombs covered the majority of the earth, but there's supposedly pockets where the green bombs didn't affect. So supposedly there could be magnetic metal there, iron or something that was untouched and could hold a charge, and then advance society, and that would be a really good thing. So I really liked that was kind of like a myth or a quest that was tied in there, that kind of wove in nicely. Things I didn't like. One of the horses' names kept confusing me. It was close. It started with B, and so I got it confused as one of the main characters, Brcok, and so I was like, wait a second, So that was my own personal thing, but yeah. So that was something I didn't like. Another one was the relationship struggle. She learns about the guide and how they're related, and she really looks up to him and all that stuff. And I could just tell, whenever there's that starry-eyed, this is going perfect and everything's gonna be great, you just know there's gonna be something there that's a letdown. So I kind of saw that plot point coming, but the rest of it was really unique, really creative. Didn't kept me guessing. I wasn't able to see what was going on ahead of time. Great story. And this is a Brandon Sanderson student. So if you like Brandon Sanderson novels, this will fit in just nicely. This is, a world similar to our own. Great adventure, young adult fantasy. So remember to buy your books used or digital.